Thanks to the power of innovation, plug-in electric and hybrid vehicles now work for virtually all lifestyles and budgets. And while many Americans have made the switch, there's still confusion about all the different vehicles and their benefits. So joining me now with some helpful insight, we have Carl Brower from Kelley Blue Book. Thanks for joining us, Carl.
Hey, great being on with you.
All right, so let's start with this because I immediately had the same question. You've heard of hybrid, you've heard of the electric vehicle. Now we've got the hybrid plug-in. So what is the difference between all of those vehicles?
See, it's just a rich cornucopia of choices in the world of cars today. Yeah, let's make it clear what you're looking at with these different vehicles. You know, you've got the hybrid that we've had for, really over 10 or 12 years now, and a lot of people have a sense of, where you've got the internal combustion engine that we've had in cars for over a century, but now being paired with an electric motor and a battery pack to help reduce the fuel usage and increase fuel efficiency of that internal combustion engine. Now we've also heard of electric vehicles, which are pure EVs. They run on only a motor and battery. Most of them have less than 100-mile range, and you have to charge them up for 5, 10, 15 hours depending on the battery pack size. Now you've got a plug-in hybrid, which sounds like kind of a cross between the two, because it is. What that means is a car like this Prius Prime that I'm standing next to, it has all the traditional hybrid elements of the battery pack and the electric motor, but you also have a plug that you can plug in and make the battery pack power the car completely without using the engine at all, and get 22 miles of pure EV travel. And after that, the engine will kick on and keep you going. So you don't have the range anxiety that you would have with the average pure electric vehicle, especially most of them that have less than 100-mile range. This will go 22 miles pure EV, and then it'll go another like almost 600 miles in internal combustion power. So there's no range issue. And when that runs out, you can just put more gas in and keep driving. You don't have to plug it in. If you don't plug it in, it's just like a regular Prius and gets over 50 mpg. So I think that's really the important thing to keep in mind, is that the plug-in hybrids are not required to be plug-in. They just give you better fuel efficiency if you do.
Okay, so I imagine all of these, obviously, you can save a lot of money depending on, how often you use each portion of it and that kind of thing. So how much money does the plug-in hybrid actually, hope to save for the average car buyer?
Sure. I mean, something like the Prius Prime, when it comes out in November at dealerships, it's going to start around $30,000. Now, I work at Kelley Blue Book. We're tracking new car pricing, and the average new car transaction price is $34,000. So it already starts out cheaper than the average new car. But then this one particularly has a $4,500 federal tax incentive. That means no matter where you live in the U.S., if you buy one of these, you can get a $4,500 tax incentive, plus whatever your state might add in on top of that. So you're really dropping down from that average new car price when you buy a vehicle like this, and that's just to start. Once you've purchased it, the average person is going to save a minimum of probably a couple hundred gallons of gasoline with driving this car. Even if you have a longer commute and you're still using the engine, that mileage you're going to get out of this vehicle is going to cut down your fuel bill by $200, $300, $600 a year.
Okay, that's some big money. So the last question we have for you, Carl, are these as safe, as reliable as every other car out there?
Yeah, that's the other great thing that people need to keep in mind about hybrids is, just like you can drive them like a regular car and just put gas in when it needs, they're just as safe as a regular car, and just as reliable too. They've got a battery pack that people sometimes worry about. The battery packs are warranted just like the rest of the drivetrain. They've shown to hold up just as well as the drivetrain, like the transmission and the engine. It's a major component, and it lasts the life of the vehicle just like other major components.
All right, pretty cool. Thanks for showing us how technology has changed over the last decade. We appreciate your time today, Carl.
Great being on with you. Thanks.